And welcome back to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. We have on the line with us on this morning a victorious Bulldog coach, Coach Gene Johnson. Coach, how you feeling on this morning, sir?
Well, we're always tired after those Friday night games. I think it's a better tired when you win. So
yes, sir.
So we're doing good this morning.
Okay, 14-7 was the final score. Low-scoring battle, but the bottom line is you come out on top in this battle. If you could, sir, give us a recap on the Friday night.
Well, I guess just two things stand out. Number one, we talked about some of the struggles that we had the last 2 weeks, and we talked candidly with our kids about how, it's easy to get your diver down after you've suffered 2 really tough losses, and we talked about character and responding in the right ways, and so I was really proud of our kids for bouncing back, not just from losses, but from some really tough losses. And I guess then the second thing that just stood out was our defensive play, and they've got a really, really good running back. And, we knew that if we did not fit the run well, that we could have some struggles. And other than one drive that they got on us, we fit the run about as well as you can fit it. So just a huge team effort by our defense, and those guys played well. They certainly deserve the we'll call it the electronic game ball.
Yes, sir. Now, one thing about being able to execute against the run, you got to have some strong up front play on that line, the big guys up front. Now, they do a lot of the grunt work, the linebackers and your DBs get the glorified stats and recognition. But when these guys are able to hold it down up front, it makes life a lot easier on that night journey in the trenches, huh?
Oh, there's no doubt, and we still, Prince, I think we were down 4 starters again, last night. So we're short in some areas, and I would be totally remiss if I didn't mention Andrew Gutierrez. He has stepped in and had to play the nose position, which is not something. He's not. Well, we lost our starter there, but his play and Jairo Garcia has just been a stalwart just every game at that defensive tackle spot. But just really, really worth mentioning how Andrew Gutierrez stepped down and played that nose and did such a phenomenal job. And not to say that Caden Alexander didn't play as well, because you're right. Our ability with those defensive linemen to control the line of scrimmage was really, really important for us last night.
Yes, sir. Now, the Bulldogs coming back to the victory circle. And one thing about a youngster, Coach, past wink, you and I phase in life, they got a good resiliency. They can forget stuff pretty quick, more than they can linger and hover over some things. And to come out and get this win, which sets the table for the next opponent. And now, as I say, the only good is your last game. And what is the plan of attack for your next opponent, and who would that next opponent be?
Well, the next opponent will be New Caney, and it certainly, they will be much more explosive on offense. So we have got to do better as far as putting points on the board. We had several opportunities where we feel like, not to take anything away from New Caney Porter's play last night, but we had some opportunities where we left some points on the board, and we got to clean that up and execute a little better. And because I don't know that 14 is going to be enough to do it this week. They've got a really athletic quarterback, and they've had 2 or 3 kids that have moved in from other schools that are impact players for them there on offense. So we got to continue to play well defensively, and we got to clean up some things offensively, and we got to have a great week of practice. I don't know that really we were pleased with our week of practice this last week. Focus. I think we fell into the doldrums of kind of being in the grind and the season being a little bit long, and so hopefully our kids will come back focused and have a great week of practice, because this is a huge game for us. We kind of told the kids that from here on out we're essentially playing playoff games. If we have playoff aspirations, we've got to pick up at least 2 of these next 3, if not all 3 of them, and so we've got to treat this as the do or die elimination game and get after them.
Yes, sir. Well, that's the spirit of competition as you get to the thick part of the season. Some games you thought may have gotten away. You can't harp on that. Now you got to focus on the mission at hand, and it starts when you take on New Caney. And each one of these games, if you allow me to look into my crystal ball, looks a bit winnable when you look at it on paper, when you measure it up on paper. and all you want to do is say, let's show up, let's put out our best efforts, and let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely. I don't. College Station is in the middle of New Caney and Lufkin, and certainly they're a state-ranked team. I don't know how high they are. I think they may be top 5 in the state, and if not, they're for sure top 10 in the state. But certainly those other 2 games are games that we would like to believe that we're working towards being a program that can go out and win those games. And if we do that and put ourselves in that position, I think we align ourselves for a chance at a playoff spot. We've got our hands full. New Caney Porter is New Caney, is a very, very good football team. They've scored 56 on, I believe, in Lufkin. So we've got our hands full, but we also want to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, we think we can do some good things too. So let's go line up play and see if we can get this one and continue this talk about trying to get this team to the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, I just want to look ahead a little bit, not omitting any of the teams that we have ahead of us. But with the growth of this district, and there's no secret that come realignment time, we might be in a whole different plateau. Does that excite you at all?
I think it does. You like to grow into, you like to see your program grow, and then to be able to grow into 6A and know that you're competing at the highest level in the state of Texas is kind of neat. We kind of looked, and I told the kids the other day, I said, well, that was the last time you're going to play Magnolia. It was either Magnolia or Magnolia West. But I said, it was the last time you're going to play them. And kids kind of looked at us and said, what do you mean? So I think they're oblivious to the fact that we're headed to 6A. And so we kind of explained that to them and talked to them about it a little bit. And I think if you look at things, there's probably a really strong likelihood that we'd be in there with Cy-Fair. And if we're not in there with Cy-Fair, then you're looking at Klein, Tomball District. It has 7 teams right now, so we could insert in there and be an 8th real quickly. And so all of that will present new challenges, as I talked about. We've got some great teams in our district right now, and we'll step up into 6A, and there will be more of that, if not even at a little higher level. And so, but I think there's something in us inertly as men that we like to see a challenge, and there's a reason we go watch a
challenge, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's built in us to compete, and so that's the approach that we're going to take as a program. That this is just an opportunity to continue to grow and get better.
Yes, sir. And if the truth be told, if we look at it for what it really could be, it almost, even though you're stepping up with larger competition, but it's almost thinned out because of the number of 6A schools and the location of the 6A schools. So it almost kind of works to an advantage. Would you say that?
Well, I don't, having coached in that Cy-Fair district and coached 6A football and now having the opportunity to come down and coach in this league, and I don't want to, I don't want to discredit our district in any way, shape, or form.
Uh-huh.
We are going to have to raise our level of what we're doing to be competitive in 6A. It's just natural that when you've got enrollment of 3,000 kids in most of these schools, that the talent, the competition, those things is going to be totally different than schools that have 1,800 to 2,100 kids. So we have got to adjust and adapt, and we've got to be ready for this 6A because this is going to be a big jump for Waller High School.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be a significant jump in competition.
Yes, sir. Now, I know, and when you look at the immediate Waller County, you have 3A in Hempstead, 4A in Royal, and then, of course, we're currently at 5A. But when you jump up to that, football becomes a quick, distant memory of even remotely competing with the teams within the county. Is that also the case?
Well, it really is, and when I got here, we kind of talked about maybe moving away and trying to start to play some of the 6A teams. We continued to play Bryan, and then COVID kind of knocked us out a little bit on trying to do some things with our schedule. But there are certainly some great programs that beat us, quite frankly, when I got here in Brenham, and then obviously you mentioned Hempstead and the Brookshire Royal programs, and so impressed with what Coach is doing over at Brookshire Royal. I believe he came in from North Shore and is doing some great things over there. But yeah, those matchups with the lower classifications are kind of tough to sustain, when you make that transition to 6A.
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're going to enjoy this week's victory over Porter and get ready for New Caney and keep grinding with the youngsters, Coach, doing a great job. Keep building young men and the future of these young men and the potential husbands and fathers and community leaders is starting, believe it or not, on that gridiron.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us on this segment of our Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. And as usual, sir, we want to give you some closing thoughts and comments.
Well, just, a great win for the kids. I was really thankful for the parents and community members that were able to make the trip over and support the kids. It always means so much to those kids when they look up in those stands and see people there cheering for them. Kind of mentioned to you our defensive effort and some of those guys that stood out. I would like to take a moment to plug in Austin Bison there. I think we started 3 seniors on offense last night. And Austin was one of our young guys, a sophomore, as a matter of fact, that kind of got dinged up a little bit and hurt himself a little bit, but battled through, and we tried to pull him out. And he said, "No, Coach, I'm not coming out."
You got to love that, right?
Oh, man, and what a great night for him. He kind of helped spark us a little bit offensively. But, he was one of many kids. They had a lot of them. We had a lot of kids step up last night, and just incredibly proud of our kids for their effort last night.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, we thank you, man. As once stated, keep on doing what you're doing, sir, and go Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.
Yes, sir. Coach Gene Johnson of the Waller Bulldogs victorious over Porter 14-7. I am the radio guy, Mike Prince. We'll pause for the calls, and we'll be back with more of our sports report Saturday.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, the Hotline Press newspaper of Hempstead, Texas, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports Report Saturday. Of course, we heard from Coach Gene Johnson with the Waller Bulldogs. Bulldogs were victorious last night over Porter by the score of 14-7. Tough loss last night for the Royal Falcons. Came up short against Lamar, losing by the score of 17-16. We'll try to catch up with Coach Theadis Regans later on to see exactly how the game unfolded. Don't forget, you can join us each and every week right here for Sports Report Saturday at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. You can join us on daily programming throughout the course of the Open Mic Broadcast Network by going to obnradio.com. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. You guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.